Hey, welcome to Daily Dose of Anime Recaps. Today we'll be looking at episodes 1 through 4 of The Hidden Dungeon Only I Can Enter. The title pretty much explains the entire plot. There is an undiscovered and inaccessible dungeon with rare creatures and items concealed from the world. Noir Stalgia, the third son of a poor nobleman, opens the entrance. He runs into the renowned explorer, who grants him 3 powerful abilities, and the adventure begins. Noir Stalgia's career aspiration is to work as a librarian. Even though his family is from a noble background, they are at the lowest level. Unfortunately, a higher aristocrat decided to acquire the library position for himself. Noir's father breaks the bad news after Noir had gotten ready for his first day of work. His sister suggests Noir to enroll in the Hero Academy. Those who graduate from this institution have their life set. They either become royal knights or monster hunters. Depressed, Noir meets his childhood friend Emma, who has found something about his skill called the Great Sage. Apparently, it can tell Noir about any unexplained phenomenon that he wants to know. Unfortunately, he doesn't know how to use it. When he does try, he gets a migraine. However, with Emma's help, he finally uses the Great Sage to locate a hidden dungeon where he might acquire the necessary skills needed for enrollment in the academy. By help, I mean a steamy kissing session, a passionate tongue-kissing between childhood friends. Most main characters build a harem gradually throughout the series, but Noir is starting the anime with a harem. However, what he's about to discover in the hidden dungeon might change his fate forever. Noir gears up and follows a mysterious voice until he arrives at a random door. He hesitates before using the spell he learned from the Great Sage to open the door. He was prepared to face a terrifying beast. Instead, he meets a gorgeous, plump, blue-haired woman tied in the center of the well-lit space. Not noticing any immediate danger, Noir draws nearer and questions if she's still alive. Her sole response was that he touched her head. She talks telepathically. He extends his gloved hand to touch her head. This is when she declares in the cheeriest voice possible that she is a fun adventurer, and then briefly explains to him how she had come to be locked up in a prison. Her name is Olivia Servant, a legendary explorer who fell into a trap and has been imprisoned for 200 years in the hidden dungeon. He tells her his story and she passes on to him her remarkable powers, which no one else has ever inherited. He can basically create or edit anything he can imagine, and he can also give people the skills he wishes. His imagination is the limit. However, performing these abilities causes your LP, life points, to be lost, and if his life points reach 0, he'll die. If Noir wants to recover life points, he will have to fulfill his desires. Yes, this includes sexual ones. Noir spends his time in the dungeon gradually mastering these skills. Later, with the help of his sister, he restores his life points. Olivia advises Noir to develop the Discerning Eye ability, which will help him to pass Hero Academy's entrance exam. He obtains the ability and later restores the life points from Emma. Relax, they only hug. What really matters is that the day of the entrance exam has arrived. Everyone is a superior aristocrat to Noir. The first condition of the test is to make a team, and obviously, no one wants to team up with a lowlife. Noir's harem has got his back, though. Emma arrives after quitting her job as a librarian to be with him, and to give Hero Academy a shot. Another noble girl arrives and claims to have no interest in Noir, but wants to team up with Emma. The entrance exam requires students to bring materials from rare monsters, and the deadline is tomorrow afternoon. The rich kids decide to buy the raw materials, but Noir has no other option but to stash some. He visits the 3rd floor of the hidden dungeon, where he discovers a dead Reaper. The problem is that he has never used his 3 skills in combat before, so he struggles at first, but then gets the hang of it. Noir kills the Reaper following a lengthy battle that uses virtually all of his life points. Noir brings the Reaper's skull, which results in his team scoring the most points. They don't just win, they win by a large margin of 100,000 points because of how rare this monster's species was. They had literally just made history. Noir celebrates his acceptance into the academy with his family up until they get a letter with the academy tuition fee. Noir is forced to accept the grim truth, staring him in the face. His father lacked the funds needed to cover the entrance fee, with the worst part being that he has to get it arranged within a week. This meant that the responsibility fell entirely on the shoulders of Noir, which also meant that the responsibility fell on Olivia, Noir's new master. Olivia suggests killing monsters and selling them off, but Noir doesn't want the attention that will bring. In fact, he even gave the entire credit for killing the dead Reaper to his ungrateful teammate. As always, she comes up with a brilliant idea. She suggests that he should visit the Adventurers Guild and ask them to give him work. The first challenge was that Lola, a beautiful front desk agent who is probably part of the harem according to the opening, and also because our boy is starstruck, doesn't think he has the same abilities as the guild's most amazing explorer, Olivia herself. Luckily for him, they had a magic tool at the guild that proved that he did in fact possess Olivia the Great's skills. Since Lola lost the bet that he was Olivia's successor, she now has to lift her skirt as penalty, much to our protagonist's delight. Plus his life points increase. He's really living a life. He sets out on a mission to capture rainbow grasshoppers, which are rare creatures, but can get him the money he needs. Noir uses the Great Sage to obtain the grasshopper's location, but the thought of the migraine afterward makes him wish that he could have Emma's passionate kiss to recover. He uses one of his skills to obtain headache immunity. This is when angry Emma pops up. She's mad at him for leaving her for 2 seconds. However, Noir has headache immunity, which apparently makes Emma useless, but they decide to kiss passionately as friends because that makes sense. Anyway, Noir gathers enough grasshoppers to earn 250,000 reals. He has no time to celebrate because Lola and Emma are already at each other's throats for Noir. Emma wants to become an adventurer so she can be by Noir 24/7. People gather round to enjoy the lovers' spat, but Noir is smart enough to settle the matter, for now at least. The next mission that Noir and Emma take on is killing the big rabbit. First, they fight off some random goblins. Gosh, even this humorous, ecchi fantasy can't escape lusty goblins. Noir mercilessly shoots his stone skills at their groins until the big rabbit appears. Although the rabbit is clearly scary and strong enough to take down both of them, Emma wants to fight it alone. Otherwise, Lola will be all over Noir for yet another of his accomplishments. She fights well, but not enough to lay even a single scratch on Mr. Rabbit. Noir has to step in to save her, and they both leave to hide in a forest. While Emma is depressed about not being able to take down the rabbit, Noir thinks of ways to console her. He gets the idea to use his editor skills to increase the level of her ability. However, to use his editor skills, he needs life points. It's pretty obvious that Noir is going to come up with new creative ideas to restore his life points, and Emma is going to love every single one of them. After consent from Emma, he nibbles on her ear. As soon as Noir gathers an adequate supply of life points from Emma, he gives her power up, and she gets rid of the rabbit in a split second. Emma is the perfect harem girl. She takes the initiative, is a strong battler in her own right, and is ready to indulge in Noir's fetishes. When they return with the huge carcass of the rabbit, Lola and Emma come on friendly terms, and we also get to see what a great guy Noir is. Noir simply gave it to the whole guild so they could celebrate and enjoy a community barbecue. In the end, Noir thanks Olivia for her wisdom and help. The question arises, why doesn't Olivia let Noir bring her guild's friends for her rescue? He's the only one that knows her situation and location after all. Anyway, the episode's ending gave the impression that it was about being accepted by the guild, and they now recognized him as one of their own, and especially as Olivia's true. Anyway, with the enrollment fees arranged, Noir and Emma begin their lives at the Hero Academy. Noir's morning is nothing out of the ordinary. He begins his day with his sister clinging to him, his father getting the wrong idea, and then him and his best friend Emma casually kissing in the forest, all of which stockpile his life points. With Noir, Emma has established a really lovely morning routine. In addition to their classic morning greeting of a hot makeout session, she gets to stroll arm in arm to school with him. The first student they bump into is the daughter of a duke, the highest noble family. As they bow their heads to Maria, Noir uses his discerning ability to find out her skill level. He's disturbed by something he discovers about her. Someone has put a curse on her, which will cause her to die on her 16th birthday. Everyone in the class chooses to ignore Noir due to his family's low status, which is represented by his badge. His family are just commoners who serve the kingdom and were allowed to enter the noble society out of sympathy. Some boys push him aside to hit on Emma, and the girl Noir gave the credit for killing the Reaper is acting all high and mighty. Maria, the daughter of a duke, enters the class, and Noir thinks to himself that she's completely out of his league. However, she completely ignores his badge and addresses him by his name. She also acts casually and friendly with Emma. Noir is confused, and the presence of a curse on this polite and kind girl is adding to Noir's frustration. They meet their teacher named Elna, who is equally psychotic and sadistic. Her cruel techniques make sense because she wants her students to be prepared for the outside world, comprised of monsters and goblins. She uses Noir as a volunteer student to teach the students how to take a backstep. She asks him to strike her at his full power. Noir wonders how she could be so confident, but then he uses his discerning ability to find out that she is 200 levels above him. She dodges his attack like it's a piece of cake. Then she charges at him and ruthlessly destroys his stomach. After healing him, she asks him to try the backstep again, while making a promise of a prize if he succeeds. Noir isn't going to let a prize like that slide, so he completes the backstep like it's a walk in the park. He obviously gets rewarded as promised. We are also given a little background info on Miss Elna, who trained as a mercenary, and the weird skills she learned. Anyway, another member is successfully added to the harem. The rest of the boys get jealous, the girls get uncomfortable, and Emma is both. In the end, Noir is only concerned about his life points, so he thinks about asking her to sit on him again. Next up, the class starts practicing passive defense in teams. Elna wants the students to work in pairs for this activity. Noir and Emma were collaborating peacefully until Elna objected. They had an edge because they were clearly too close. Just like these two, Maria and her attendant, Amane, weren't allowed to team up either. Maria chooses Noir to be her partner. She goes on a lengthy speech about how nobles just throw around their titles but do nothing to earn them, whereas baronets, the rank that Noir belongs to, work hard and put their life on the line for the kingdom. In the middle of the practice, Maria does one move and runs out of breath, and she gets sick. Noir uses Great Sage to come up with a way to save Maria. His editor skills require too many life points. He asks the Great Sage for a way to earn that many life points. The Great Sage uses his great wisdom and tells Noir to line up the girls and harass them one by one and obtain 2,000 life points. Noir's skills are as perverted as him. However, Noir refuses because 2,000 isn't enough. He needs 8,000 life points. The Great Sage gives him another headache, so he shamelessly plants his lips on Emma after making her jealous of Elna and Maria. Now that Noir knows Maria doesn't have long to live, and the curse will kill her next week, he and Emma are genuinely worried about her. Emma and Noir take the information to the Adventurer Guild to speak with Lola for advice. Lola says she knows somebody who can help to save Maria. She's a friend of hers and is a cleric named Luna. Unfortunately, she's a bit too popular and her schedule is full for the next 3 months. Noir is getting worked up now because he knows that with his skills, only he is able to save her. By the end of the episode, Noir has accepted his role as the main character in a harem comedy. He finds an exhausted Elna and complains that her shoulders hurt, and wonders if she can find a gentleman who can help her. Noir, being the clever guy he is, develops the rare shoulder rub skill using Get Creative ability, and Elna sounds more than satisfied. To get help from her friend Luna, Lola visits the temple. Luna is always occupied with work, which keeps her exhausted all the time. While Lola is worried about her friend, she also can't disappoint Noir, so she asks Luna for a favor. While this is going on, Noir tells Olivia of Maria's predicament. She was understandably upset with him for ignoring her for 2 weeks, but she got over it quickly and started talking about breaking Maria's curse. She reveals that Noir could break the curse with the abilities she had given him. It simply requires 10,000 life points. The problem is, he only has 1/5 of that. Olivia said it might be good news when she discovered the cleric was actually an elf. It seems that getting in bed with a member from a different species can result in extra life points for the experience. Noir gets excited for a moment and then shakes the thoughts away. Olivia loves messing with him, so she asks him to come closer so she can whisper something important. It's funny how she's only communicating telepathically and still feels the need to whisper. She tells him dirty little details that make the innocent MC get nosebleeds. Olivia finally gets serious and tells him about a skill that will actually help him. Because Olivia enjoys creating suspense, she informs him that this was a forbidden technique known as the Lucky Lecher. It only costs 300 points to obtain. Yet it's incredibly efficient. Noir gulps with delight as she assures him that he will have unforgettable experiences. Thanks to Noir's new ability, several incidents take place in the city while he goes to meet Emma. Turns out his new ability wasn't directed at him. It was directed at the nearby women. Noir attempted to run to Emma when he spotted her in the town waiting for Lola and Luna. He accidentally stumbles over a stray cat that had crossed his path. He trips and falls into Emma's cleavage. The interesting part is that face planting into Emma's cleavage was worth 300 points. Noir considers that to be a decent increase. However, Lucky Letcher's work wasn't done yet. Soon, Emma's skirt is flipped by the breeze. He turns his head away just to discover that the wind was stronger than he'd thought. Women were attempting to keep their skirts down all throughout the market. In quick sequence, he picked up 110, 180, and 150 life points. He's really enjoying this newfound ability. However, he doesn't want this to happen all the time, so he decides to tinker with the skill using his editor ability. He edits the Lucky Letcher to only occur at rare times and not in serious situations. They run across Lola and Luna in a restaurant. Luna comments that Noir is just her type, which isn't surprising because we already know she's going to be the new addition to the harem. It's been 5 seconds of meeting Luna, but Emma is already feeling insecure. Luna reveals that Maria's family has already requested her assistance, but she's powerless to help, although she knows how to lift the 16th birthday curse. Noir learns that Luna's Lift Curse skill depletes her lifespan via his Discerning Eye ability. While they're all walking home, out of nowhere, Luna decides to help Maria. Noir calls Luna for a private conversation. Luna says that her mother died from overusing this skill. Luna vows to help Maria even if it means dying. This is when a wall collapses on a child nearby. They run to the location to find that the little kid is seriously injured. Luna starts asking philosophical questions like, why are we born into this world? When Noir replies that he has absolutely no clue why he was born, Luna exclaims that she knows her purpose. It's to help people around her. She pulls out 2 healing guns and shoots the wounded child. He recovers immediately. After such a heroic act, she collapses and starts crying because she doesn't want to die. After learning about Lift Curse's effect, Lola gives her a hug. Noir particularly enjoys the moment. Later, Noir says he can change Luna's skill to use her money instead of her life, but he lacks the resources to do so. When they ask him what he means by resources, he explains the entire phenomenon of his skill and life points. He asks them if they know of any way that he could use to amass life points. Lola suggests Noir should participate in a harem pride event, where men show off their girlfriends and are slandered by single men in the audience. Noir visits the place with Emma, Lola, and Luna, but backs away at the last second as he's absolutely terrified. By suggesting this method, basically Lola herself has confirmed Noir's harem. In the post-credit scene, Noir discovers his sister sniffing his bed sheets. She's embarrassed, but he asks her to share a bed with him as they used to when they were kids. Noir is shocked that he gained LP when she cuddles with him from behind. So what shenanigans will go down in the harem pride event? Will the squad be able to help lift Maria's curse? Will they welcome her into the harem? We'll find out in the next couple of episodes.